Karamihan po, yun ang problema. They may have the means, they may have the income, they may have the employment, they may even have the down payment. Pero yung credit score nila palpak. Mga ate at mga kuya, welcome again to PuTo Mendoza and Canada's channel. Nandito po tayo ngayon sa favorite truck stop ko. Dito sa Wendy's and the Tim Hortons by the Garden Ave exit dito sa Brantford. Dahil ako po ngayon ay driver, sweet lover ni Mrs. So, meron siyang appointment with a client. It's only half an hour. So, I'm on standby. So, imbis na uuwi ako, standby lang ako dito. And I guess this gives me an opportunity to talk to you guys and make a video. So, lately po, I've been putting up some content about real estate. And it seems like it's very, very well received. Madami po nagtatanong about this, and that. So I figure I'll create a real estate segment just to get our kabayans out there, a little bit more informed about the process. Yung pong last video ko that dealt with real estate was about down payment. So ngayon pag-usapan natin, kung meron na kayong down payment, ano susunod? So yung pong down payment, hindi po biro yan. It's probably one of the hardest things to put together. But say you were able to get to that stage where ayos na yung down payment, nakatabi na siya, di ba? What's the next step, Kuya Puto? Ano kailangan namin gawin? So next step po, kailangan check ninyo yung credit score ninyo. Napaka-importante po nun. Even before you go to a financial institution and make an appointment with a mortgage specialist or a mortgage broker, leave it up to you to do your due diligence and check your credit score yourself. You can do that online po. And when you do it yourself, a self-inquiry will not take points off your credit score. Because unfortunately, every time there is an inquiry about your credit score by a third party na hindi kayo, it takes away points. So bumababa po yun, and you don't really want that, especially if you're right on the border. 680 po yung border. 680 and above, it means that you're good. 680 and below, we're on shaky grounds. So check your credit score po. Hopefully, while you were saving up your down payment, you would have adapted some good behaviors that would have increased your credit score or would have maintained your credit score in good standing, diba? Well, anyways, check your credit score po. You could do that yourself through online, usually through your bank, and that's really, really important because it'll save you a lot of time, it'll save you a lot of effort, it'll save you a lot of grief. So guys, we're gonna deal with the negative side of things for now. Dahil kung maganda yung credit score ninyo, dire-diretso yun eh. Okay? So we're gonna deal with the what ifs. Okay? So, what if yung credit score nyo palpak? Ano gagawin natin? What's the next step? So, karamihan po, yun ang problema. They may have the means, they may have the income, they may have the employment, they may even have the down payment. Pero yung credit score nila palpak. Your credit score po is how financial lenders, gauge your ability to pay your bills. So, kahit po maganda yung trabaho nyo, malaki kita ninyo, may down payment na kayo, there's a very, very good possibility na hindi pa rin pa kayo papautangin to get the mortgage that you need. So, ano po gagawin natin kung palpak yung credit score ninyo? See, this is why at the very beginning, nung dapat talaga, nung nagsasave na kayo for the down payment, dapat you should have developed good credit building habits po. So what do I mean by good credit building habits? I'll give you an example. Ako po, I don't carry cash. Ginagamit ko po sa lahat credit card because it's just better for accounting purposes with me. All right. Plus, I'm able to keep track of everything that I spend. And at the same time, it also builds my credit rating. Dahil ginagawa ko po ganito. Lahat i-charge ko sa credit card ko and I make sure that I always pay the full balance. I never ever use my credit card as a bank account. Like what most people do. That's why they get in credit card trouble, diba? I use my credit card po as a payment solution. Dahil it's so much more convenient to pay with a credit card. You can also receive points with some credit cards where you can get some cash back or some prizes, some items for free. Not really free, but you know, that's the program. And it does build your credit because it shows to the financial institutions that yes, even though I charge everything on my credit card, I never keep a balance. Importante po yun. And not only for purchases, karamihan po ng mga utility bills namin, if the company allows it, it's all on credit cards. That way, everything's always on time and everything is always zero balance. Because the moment they take off the payment, binabayaran ko po yung utang agad. Okay, that's one very, very important way to increase or maintain your credit standing in good standing. Your credit in good standing po. Sabi po nila, bumili ka ng kotse. They say if you buy a used car and make payments, you know, it'll help you build your credit. Yeah, there's some truth to that. There really is some truth to that. Pero question po, you know, how much of a liability are you bringing in? How much utang are you bringing in? So it's like this. But yeah, just as a rule of thumb, use your credit cards. Utilize your credit cards as a payment solution. Never as a bank account. Dahil wala pong libre dito. Just because, you know, madaling mag-tap, madaling mag-swipe, does not mean it ends there. Kailangan bayaran nyo po yun. And usually, if kung di nyo binayaran on time, there's a 20% or more interest tacked onto the balance. So, mag-iingat po kayo dun. But yes, it's one way to build your credit up. Another tip, guys, is stop applying for so many credit cards and line of credits because that will go against you. Kahit po hindi kayo nakikip ng malaking balance, if you have like 5, 6, 7, 8 credit cards and 2, 3, 4 line of credits with like different financial institutions, that can be used as a liability against you when you apply for a mortgage. Because in the financial institution's eyes, in the bank's eyes, all of those credit cards that you have, may mga limit yan. All of those line of credits that you have, may mga limit po yan. Palagay nyo nang walang laman, so sasabihin nyo sa bank, wala naman laman eh. You know, I don't use it. But in their eyes, they look at it different. You know, they look at it as, you know what, at any given point, at any given time, you can max out these credit cards and these line of credits, and then, what then? You know, what then? Kaya, advice ko po, always stick to one MasterCard, one Visa, and if you want, get one American Express. That's optional. Ako po, one Visa, one MasterCard, one debit card. Yun lang po dala-dala ko plus my driver's license. Okay? Dahil every single time you apply for a credit card, tukso po yun eh. Yes, sasabihin nyo, di naman yun yung gagamitin eh. Just for emergency purposes. Until you apply for a big loan, like a mortgage, for example, which is what we're talking about now. Dahil before anybody or any financial institution approves you for a mortgage, they're gonna have to run a financial check. Okay? And part of that is pretty much all of your credit history will be disclosed to the broker or the agent. Diba? So they're gonna see how many credit cards you have, how much balances you have on each, and then they're gonna question you, Mr. PuTo, why do you have $150,000 in credit card? Yes, there's zero balance on all of them, but why do you have $150,000 in credit cards? So that to them is a liability. Okay? Remember that word, guys, liability. In the eyes of the banks and the financial institutions that you're trying to get a mortgage from, you as an individual carrying lots of credit, even though there's zero balance of them on them, it's a liability. Okay? So tandaan nyo yun. Stick to one credit card, maybe two, one Visa, one MasterCard, maybe an American Express, and that's it. Okay, guys? That's tip number 2. Tip number 3, guys, and this is the one that's most overlooked and it's the simplest one to check. Lagi nyong titignan yung balance statement ninyo. Lagi nyong titignan yung mga bills ninyo. Lagi nyong titignan yung mail ninyo. Huwag nyong kakalimutan. Bakit, Kuya Puto? Because you have to make sure that lahat ng bills ninyo, nababayaran ninyo. Wala kayong nakakalimutan. Kahit po yung bills ninyo is in dispute, say you're disputing something with a phone bill, for example. Yung mga phone bills na yan, that's like the number one culprit why most people have bad credit ratings. Dahil hindi po nila napapansin na kinokolektahan na sila because for whatever reason, siguro nakalimutan bayaran or a credit card expired or bank account, they changed bank accounts where the payments were coming from. Okay, you always gotta make sure na lahat ng bills po ninyo nababayaran. And if there's a month na, kunyari, naramdaman ninyo, hey, kinuha ba nila yung payment para dun sa telepono ko? You know, the moment you get that feeling, check nyo. Because if you don't, guess what? They'll put you through collections, and that's the worst thing that can happen to anybody who's trying to build their credit. Okay? That's a really, really bad strike the moment they put you on collections. So kahit po merong dispute kayo between yourself and the bill company, or the utility company, or whatever company na sumisingil sa inyo, kahit po may dispute, bayaran nyo po. Bayaran nyo po. Trust me. Dahil, you know, once the dispute is settled and you win the dispute, right? Ibabalik naman sa inyo yung pera. And trust me, it's easier to get money back than building your credit score after they put you through a collections agency. So, tandaan nyo po yun. Tsaka, karamihan po ng tao, and I noticed this, oh, you know what? Hindi nila kinuha yung pambayad para sa tubig. Oh, hindi nila kinuha yung bayad para sa kuryente. Oh, hindi nila kinuha yung bayad para sa telepono. Hindi po ibig sabihin nun libre. Lalo na po dito sa Canada. Alright? One way or the other, kahit po kasalanan nila, it's still gonna reflect on you. So, ako po, just to give you an example, this happened many times. Lalo na po, pa nag-i-expire yung debit card namin or nag-i-expire yung credit card namin because we have to set everything back up. Like, reset everything back up to automatic payments, right? So, kunyari, hindi po kumuha yung palagay nyo na, yung kuryente. The first thing I do, tatawag po ako, sasabihin ko, hoy, kunin nyo yung pambayad. Nandito yung pera sa account namin, kunin nyo. Okay? Nakalimutan yung kunin, ako pa ho ang hahabol sa utility company para kunin yung pera nila that I owe them for the month. Okay? And that's a practice I've been doing since I was 16 years old. Because number one, ayoko po may utang kahit kanino. And number two, I know for a fact they will get their money. And not only will they get their money, malilintikan po yung credit score ko. So, pag may utang po ako pa po nag-hunting. Baliktad, di ba dapat kayo na-hunting? Ako pa po nag-hunting. So I guess what Kuya Puto is trying to say, develop that habit po. If you know that you owe a utility company or anybody, you know, and alam niyo po that you're expecting them to take money out, if they don't wait. Tawagan niyo sila agad and make sure they take the payment out before they take measures to get it back. Okay? Napaka-importante po nun. So, tandaan yan. Okay guys, my last tip to build your credit score or maintain your credit score in a good standing. Kunyari po, you had a bad month. Talagang nasimot kayo for whatever reason. madami po kayong nagasta, maybe an emergency happened, talagang nasimot po kayo. And then you have a couple bills left na parang kakapusin po kayo na bayaran. Wag po ninyo hindi bayaran. Okay, worst case, palagay nyo na meron kayong balance sa credit card ninyo. Huwag nyo tatalikuran yon. If you can, make the minimum payment. Napaka-importante po nun. Make the minimum payment. Even though that minimum payment will not move the needle, at least it'll buy you some time to regroup. Okay? And another example po, kunyari, meron kayong sinisingil po kayo. And like I said, maybe you had a bad month and medyo low po kayo sa funds, di ba? Imbis na talikuran yon, yung naniningil sa inyo, whatever billing company that is, tawagan nyo and make arrangements. Napaka-importante po nun, and not a lot of people do that. Karamihan po ng tao, tinatalikuran na lang po nila and they'll say, I'll deal with it next month. No! Tawagan nyo po sila if you know kakapusin kayo. And, 8 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, sometimes even 10 times out of 10, papayag po yun. Because they would rather receive something than nothing. Okay? Basta pakiusapan ninyo, tawagan ninyo, see if there's some kind of arrangement that you can make. Parang palugit, I guess. Maybe I can pay you this much for now. Not everybody will say yes to that, but at least you tried, hindi nyo po tinalikuran. Napaka-importante nun. Dahil, the moment tumalikod po kayo sa payment, the moment tumalikod po kayo sa mga naniningil dito, there's repercussions. Okay? And usually that means they hit your credit record, your credit rating in a very, very bad way. So kahit po, everybody has highs and lows. Kung kunyari kapusin kayo minsan, try what Kuya PuTo just said to you right now. And trust me, it's gonna pay in dividends later on when you know that you're ready to apply for a big loan like a mortgage. Magiging mas smooth po. So, sana naman po nakatulong tong mga tips ni Kuya PuTo sa inyo. And I really hope that ito po mga behaviors na to, incorporate ninyo sa buhay ninyo, the day you decide to start saving up for a down payment. Dahil these behaviors po, it has to be part of you. It has to be in you. It's not something that you just wake up one morning and say, okay, I have all of this. I'm perfect. No, this is something that you need to practice, and this is something that you need to adapt and make it part of you. So, start early. Start early po. The moment you start becoming serious about making that step to enter the real estate market, the property market, and you actually start saving for a down payment, start developing these habits. Start following these habits. Make it a part of you. And trust me po, at the end, matutuwa kayo because you will see a lot of results. So, sana naman po nakatulong to sa mga kabayan natin out there who is dreaming to enter the real estate market dito po sa Canada, or in general, just to be in a good financial standing. Okay? So, this is PuTo Mendoza in Canada po, wishing you good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Stay hungry, stay humble, keep your hustle strong. I'll see you in the next one. Bye now. Kung sinong aking mahal.